Hey everyone, in this video I'll be ranking all the new weapons in Borderlands 4's Takedown at Hadron Abyss. There's a lot of really powerful new weapons here and some new bests in slots for a lot of gear. So we'll be breaking down all of that in this video, and I'm just going to mention it right now. The Draupner is insane with a lot of different setups, which we covered in this video. Now there are 10 new weapons. I'll be doing a video on the class mods here shortly, but there's six weapons, 2 ordinances, with one of them being a heavy ordnance, a shield, and a Repkit. And I'll first start off with the Shoals Pistol. Now this is a Jacob's pistol, and it can come with a variety of different roles here. Now, my honest opinion here is the Torgue license magazine is going to give this the most amount of damage here, and a close second being the Shotgun Ripper Loader. As you can see here, there are many different roles that this can come with. It can come with element. It can't come with elements of the Phantom Flame, looking very similar, but you want to find the one that has the magazine that makes it look like the Shalashaska here. Now, I did do a video breaking down the differences between these two. This one will get splash damage on its ricochets here, and it has a pretty good critical hit modifier with upwards of plus 96%. And it does really good amounts of damage. As you can see here, we're ripping through this boss. I'm using this boss here just to keep things as consistent as possible for everything. And here it is in Ultimate Vault Hunter 7 True Mode. So the damage on this thing is pretty considerable, and it's great for mobbing, making it amazing for the takedown at whole. But compared to two of the other weapons that are similar with the Scoot and Shoot and the Shalashaska, I think this comes in third place, but it is very close. This would be what I would be to say the third best pistol in Borderlands 4. For example, this is the Shalashaska to give you an idea of the difference in damage. You can see this one does clear up things a lot quicker, but it does have a downside where you have to reload this manually 5 times to get the damage. But the Shoals is a very powerful pistol, and it's a fun one to use as well. However, you really want that Torgue roll, because here's what it looks like without. Still pretty considerable amounts of damage, but I do find that the Torgue does clear things a lot quicker. That's with the shotgun loader. I'll switch it over to the pistol version of this. It's a fun weapon. I actually really do like this pistol quite a bit, and it's the easiest of the best in the slot pistols in this game to farm, so this is a good one to look for, as Jacob's pistols are really great, and it's amazing during the takedown. So while it does have a little bit of a slower time to kill without the Torgue roll, even if you just get the one with the Ripper, you're going to have a good time with it. And having an ammo swapper is also quite nice too. And to place it on the tier list, I really want to put it into the S tier, but it does have a couple other versions that, like with the Scoot and Shoot and the Shalashaska, they're just a little bit better. What this does better in the Shalashaska is it drops a lot easier, so that has it going. It is like a low S tier to high A tier, but there are some really powerful weapons on this tier list, so you'll see. Next up, we got the Fishward, another Jacob's weapon here. Now, this is one of the most rare ones to find. You can only find it in like the platinum chest currently. So yeah, all these weapons can be dropped from the chest. The Shoals does drop from Child of Terramorphous, and there's a few other weapons that'll drop from the mid bosses, although I don't find them to drop very often. This thing is the hardest weapon to find. And for that, I think it's actually a good thing, because the weapon isn't anything that special. Now, it does come with a negative critical hit modifier, which with the Jacob's weapon, not something you want to see, but its special ability on kill increases the damage dealt to the next magazine for 20%, maximum 5 stacks. It does have a cool effect of having fish fly off the enemy, but that's not really that good. You can get a Ripper parrot on it. I like the Ripper one a little bit more, although it does drop the overall damage per shot down quite a bit. And this weapon is not anything really special. So yeah, you can see those fish flying off, which I think is really cool. I wish this had a little bit more damage or something. This is just the regular version. Now, on kill, you do have to reload it to get that damage boost on it, but it's nothing super major. So here's the Ripper version of it. The Ripper will have a larger magazine size. The damage is, you can see there, very mid. It's just not a weapon that I personally enjoy here. There's others out there that are just a bit better. One that it reminds me of is the Rowdy Rider, which comes always Cryolock, but it has +2 ricochets, so it can be a little bit better than this in a lot of instances. But if you want a Jacob's assault rifle, just go with the Bonnie and Clyde. You'll have a much better time. This thing doesn't really do a whole lot outside of being cool with the fish-like effects, so yeah. In the takedown, you will get that plus 100% on kill damage, which can be nice, but it's just not enough to make this thing worth using, in my opinion. So with that, I actually have to say that this is like a D tier weapon. I love Jacobs. It's just nowhere near as good as a lot of the other guns in this game, and it's actually probably in contention for one of the worst assault rifles. And it's the most rare one, so maybe that's just a blessing that we don't have to get this as a drop as often. It's often something like the Ishmael here, which is a reference to Moby Dick. Now, this weapon does drop from Child of Terramorphous here. It can come with a variety of different parts on it. What this does best is it's a fun weapon. It's an order sniper, but it's fully automatic. It'll bleed the target. It'll deal damage over time. The damage is not super high. It does splash damage. You can have a plus critical hit modifier on it, and you can have a Ripper part. And it also has this tether snare, which lets you fire a tether that creates beams between all other tethers, dealing damage per second. So you can do some cool stuff with that. I think this has the cool factor going for it, so it looks awesome. It looks like you're actually shooting harpoons, and you can see the damage is pretty decent. I'll then use the tether here, so you shoot at a target. You can tether to the ground and to like other enemies as well if you wanted to. And you can see the tethers just work their way around just like that, and you go ahead to blast with this weapon. It's honestly not a bad weapon overall. You can see the damage is pretty decent, and when you get the bleed starting to pile up, it can do some pretty considerable amounts of damage. I do like this weapon quite a bit. It's not like other order weapons where you get that charge. You can get benefits from active fire here, but it's only really on that first fired shot. Pretty good weapon though. I actually like this one, and it's a decently enough strong weapon to place this somewhere around the B tier. So I'll put that high B tier, maybe like a low A tier. I'm struggling with where to place this one. It is a very solid weapon though, and I think it's a fun one to use as well. Following this up with another sniper rifle, the Marshal's Claw. This one is also really fun to use. It can come with a dataless ammo swapper, which is really nice to see for a sniper. It can come with Jacobs, it can come with Ripper, and it's melee one, so it's going to come with an element. It can naturally come with the two types of elements if you don't have something like a dataless swapper on it, so like this one here, giving us that 32k DPS mark. Again, that doesn't really mean a whole lot in the grand scheme of things because this one is a shotgun loader, which is obviously very powerful, but it can also come with things like the Torg license impact magazines. And it has a plus 6-7% critical hit modifier at best. There's ones with like 50 here, and it has a variety of different splash ranges. So normally it's gonna be around 20 centimeters, but if you have Torg, it'll be upwards of 95 centimeters. And here's what it looks like in the shotgun mode. Amazing stuff. If you use this with the new Ride-In from Bounty Pack 3, you can actually do some pretty insane amounts of damage. I love the beam effect on these weapons, and I'll swap it over to the corrosive version here. This is the regular old sniper version. It shoots out 3 rounds, and the damage is higher on this version. It's powerful. And here's the Torg version of it. So it is a little bit weird with its firing shots. It shoots them like in a slower burst here, but it does pretty considerable amounts of damage. I just prefer to go with the old regular version of it without the Torg, so you can see there. I'll switch it back to shock to give it some good damage there. It's a melt, it melts. And having the Jacobs ricochet is amazing because I love the beam effect that it gives off. So yeah, this thing hits really hard, and having different types of ammo swappers is great, especially on the takedown, because you can put on like you can get an SMG version of this and just be able to tear away for hours. It's really fun. Ripper and Jacobs is ones that are parts that I would always want to see on this weapon. And yeah, the Marshal's Claw is a really good weapon. It just has so many roles, so you're gonna be hunting for quite some time to find like the best possible. But I'd have to say that this one is another high A tier pick. It is just a very powerful weapon. It's hard to rank it between the Shoals. I think they're both very good. If you're doing higher levels of difficulty, having the elemental swapper means so much more than just regular old splash damage. So while they're both really good weapons, I think that the Marshal's Claw is just a little bit of a better weapon. It could also be up into the S tier. It's that good. And next up we have the Swan Song. Now this is a really fun one. It can have upwards of 57k damage with the Torg sticky magazine. It can also come with the Jacobs parts on it as a dataless weapon. That's ideal. It can also come with just Jacobs and Ripper if you wanted to, or you can have an elemental roll on it with Jacobs and Torg. For the best roll, you're choosing between either the Torg or the Ripper parts here, with the preference being the Torg. The special ability is the cannonballs. The underbarrel will fire a burst explosion of cannonballs on kill to give you additional ones. You can get +4, so you can shoot off 5 cannonballs. Now, you don't even need to use the cannonballs because the base damage of this thing is so good. And the swaps, it depends if you have like ability to swap weapons quickly, because that'll help out, as it does take time and you lose DPS by doing that. But honestly, I like the Torg Impact version here with the elemental roll on it. Those are going to be some pretty solid choices. It can also come with COV license magazines if you want to play like Cash or Rafa. 49k is going to be the DPS max with the just regular old Torg plus Jacobs. And here's what that version it looks like. It shoots really fast, as you can see there. It's insane. So then you can swap over to the cannonballs, and you shoot off those cannonballs. They do pretty good amounts of damage as well. So yeah, it's crazy. And here's what it looks like without the Torg. If we're just going to use like the regular old, this is an elemental version, so I'm elemental matching it with the shock health bar there. Pretty solid. Now I'm going to switch over to the Torg Impact with an element. Crazy stuff. Yeah, this thing is good no matter what way you slice it. And honestly, even if you get like a bad roll of this thing, it's still going to be really good. This will also drop from, I think it's Crack Claw, the middle boss, but you can also get this from the end chest. The Swan Song, one of my favorite new weapons. It's fun. I like the cannonball theme, even though it's not really that good. I could see that getting a slight buff perhaps, but even without it, it's just really powerful as far as shotguns go. The Bod dataless shotgun died, so this thing could swim its way up to the S tier. This is a very powerful weapon and a fun one at that. And we got ourselves another shotgun here with the Sharkbait hoo-ha-ha. This is pretty fun. It's a TDR, which the only downside is TDR shotguns don't work properly. It's been a bug since the game release, where if you throw it, it's going to be treated as though it has one ammunition in its magazine. So you're not getting really good benefits from throwing this thing. But every bullet that hits the enemy applies 1 stack of chum. At 20 stacks, it explodes, dealing upwards of 83k damage, so that's pretty solid. And also, if you throw it at an enemy, it counts as 5 stacks of chum, so that's kind of cool. You can come with all the different versions of TDR, like there's 4 different versions of that. I like to have the torque parts on it, although Jacobs can be pretty fine as well. And here's what it looks like. So I'm going to be using the shock variant against this boss here. So you can see a big white splash. That's how you know you got that chum explosion there. So yeah, it does okay damage. We just gotta watch out because it is with Torg weapons, it self-fire. Oh, we got back up and back down again. I should have been quicker with that. But yeah, like oh my god, I got hit with a projectile. No, not like this. It's a pretty fun weapon, but not as strong as the other shotgun here. So this is again with the Torg part. So if you don't have the Torg part on it, it does do a lot less damage, but it's still a decent enough weapon as far as things go here. So this is not elemental. I guess it wasn't even elemental match in the previous one. I'll show you guys the non-Torg impact. So here it is with just the old Jacobs and Ripper, because again, Ripper and Torg will override each other. So damage isn't like amazing, but I like that you can get a SMG swap on so that you can trigger that chum ability, which is going to do a decent amount of damage here. But I honestly just think it's best to go with the Torg part and get the, if you can get the SMG mode on it. I love the SMG mode on shotguns because it shoots a lot quicker here. And you can see it's great for applying the chum that we can get a decent amount of damage off on this thing. Nothing like crazy. Like as far as pearls go, this weapon is not the best pearl, but it's also not the worst. So hey, that's something. So yeah, this weapon is not like amazing by any means, so I will throw it just around the B tier. I do think that the Ishmael is a little bit better in terms of the overall damage output. Could even be a C tier because we are kind of stacked, and especially when we look at the next weapon. Great googly moogly, the Draupner. This thing is just insane. That 327k DPS does not lie. It shoots 3 ammo per shot and upwards of 13 rounds there. And best of all, active fire. This thing works on it. I had some people argue with me, but you can go to the Bones of Sanctuary and test this out. Active fire works on Ripper weapons, and for whatever reason, it works on every single shot that this thing puts out. It's crazy. And you'll see here how quickly we go night-night to this boss. It's absurd. Yeah, that is absolutely insane. I posted a full video on it yesterday. This is Ultimate Vault Hunter 7, and it just melts bosses. And this is completely overkill, but you can take the new Raiden, which was dropped in Bounty Pack 3 if you have it, which gives you an additional projectile booster, which will do some insane stuff. So if we throw the projectile booster, yeah, that was only 3 extra projectiles, and we just one-shot this in Ultimate Vault Hunter 7 True Mode. So if you want to go extra bananas, take out the Raiden and throw it on with this. Even without it, this is the best heavy ordnance in the game. The only thing that can challenge it is the Heimdall, which is great for the takedown when you're mobbing because those heads will hunt down the enemies. But if you're a free player and don't have any of the DLCs, yeah, this thing just shreds. It takes what was good about the disc jockey with measly 12k DPS and then takes it up to a whole other level. This thing's damage output is absurd, and it's also a pretty fun one. When the waves return, it will deal 75% of the gun damage again. So yeah, it will deal damage over time because you got your first pelts going out and the return one's coming back. This is insane. You guys already know this is the key. There should be a whole other tier for this thing. It is just so brokenly powerful. Like, this is like S++++ tier. It's crazy, especially when you combine that with the Raiden. This thing is just so good. So next we got a book here, the Ordinance Ordnance. This is a funny one. So Order 225-2. The red text references the mummy. This thing is it's a grenade. I think this thing looks really cool, so you'd like toss out the book there, and the pages can damage enemies there, but yeah, this thing is just, yeah, not super amazing. It does recharge quickly, so that is nice, but yeah, compared to what we just showed you previously, which can beat the boss in like a literal second, this thing is just not really that great. The pages will hit enemies, so that can be kind of cool, but even with this, I'll show you throwing it out to a group of enemies there. The damage from that is like not super amazing. It does knock them down, but they took like no damage from that. So yeah, it's okay. It's very okay at best. So yeah, can't really put this thing any higher than like the D tier, maybe like C tier if you really want to build around it, but nah, this is just not really that good. Maybe on a specific build it could be decent, but I like the concept. I was thinking of Wonderlands whenever I saw this, but just again, not good. Next up, we're getting into the Shields and Repkit. So the next one is a reference to Bioshock, and I actually really like this. So the little sister, whenever you break a segment, it spawns a kill drone that fires alongside the Vault Hunter, mimicking their gun's element. It deals 25% of the gun's damage. If you get this at the box, or you can consume those manually. So this is actually pretty good on melee builds. It can come with a variety of different roles as shields do, but it's an interesting one. So you do want to use like a melee setup for this. So go in and blast away with that. You see the little drone that we got there. So it will fire alongside us. The damage from it isn't like super fantastic by any means. I'm sure there's a way to build around it. I've been testing it, but I haven't really found anything that I really enjoy that much. So yeah, it's not a bad shield, I guess. It's just not one that's like super duper useful. So you can manually get rid of those if you got that there. So you can get those extra little sisters, kind of like the, if you play Bioshock, you'll understand that reference. But yeah, you can see there it's shooting away. It's not really doing a crazy amount of damage here, but again, I'm sure there is a particular build that you could do some pretty insane stuff. The damage you saw there is coming directly from the Swan Song S tier weapon. I do think it has potential, and it's unique, and for that, I'm not going to put it in the worst tier. I'm going to put it somewhere around the C tier. We're just kind of stuck with shields in Borderlands 4 because there are so many good things, and the Wasp for Dinner is just the best in slot 9 times out of 10, and the other times that it's not the best in slot, you want the Collector with a 356k capacity, or you want like the Protean Cell for its 40% bonus shock damage, or you want the Fireworks for its additional tracking down enemies, or you want the Super Soldier for its boost to your fire rate. Most of these give you an offensive boost, and this one having an offensive boost that's not really that amazing, just it makes it tough to make it like one of the best in the game. And finally, we have the Vitae Repkit here. Now this one is kind of silly because it'll heal you on critical damage dealt. Now whatever benefit that you get from it will only last for 3 seconds, so obviously not that amazing when you have the AF 1000 here, which will last for 20 seconds. So you have things like Leech, which you could just do an infinite amount of. This, and Leech is probably a better benefit than that 256 healing on critical hit damage. I think it's cool, especially if you're playing Infinite Crit Harlow, which I'm using for this video. Now this is a really difficult one to showcase, so I almost just died there. I got my Repkit with the minimal amount of healing that it gives, and I'm healing back. Yeah, it's just enough to sustain. Sorry, my head was in the way there, but yeah, you can give yourself a bit of health, especially if you got like a shotgun type weapon. But I'll be honest with you guys, I'd almost rather just use something with a leech and then get a better benefit from it, because then you're getting at least your damage worth versus like a bunch of pellets. Like, yeah, it's okay enough of as far as Repkits go, but again, it kind of falls into the other weapon there. I'm going to try and take this, so I'm, yeah, 99 health left. Heal yourself back, and you just gotta start spamming damage as much as possible. You see, we're actually healing ourselves pretty nicely there, but again, you're probably better off using something with a leech and getting a better benefit than this. And like the other shield, it kind of falls into the category of like, why would you use that when you got things like the War Paint, which gives you a 30% fire rate increase, movement speed, and a bunch of other buffs that reduces the cooldown. And you can get the leech for 30% life steal on that one, so you get a huge boost to your DPS, which is in turn giving you life steal, better survivability. And you don't have to hit critical hits. This is mostly going to be relegated to like a crit build, like the Infinite Crit Harlow. And even that, there's many other options that are a lot better. Even things like the Kill Spring here, which are just really good for sustaining you, getting health on kill, the AF 1000, which gives you a 20-second long leech if you wanted to, or even the Watts or triple bypass. But I think the War Paint is the best choice for something like this, and especially if you want a leech. So if you wanted a similar effect, it's probably best to just stick with one of the tried and true other ones. So I'm actually going to set this in the D tier. It's very build specific, and even the builds that utilize that well, there's better options, much better options. So yeah, and there we have it, the tier list of the best takedown weapons in Borderlands 4. Draupner is just insane, as you guys saw. Mixed with the ride-in from Bounty Pack 3, you can just delete everything in sight quickly. There's also the Swan Song, which is very powerful as well. We also have the Marshal's Claw and the Shoals Pistol. Either of these could be somewhat considered S tier. I just put them in the A tier because, again, these two are just like mountains ahead of others, and Draupner especially. The Ishmael is also something I could have easily, like I could put this like low A tier. Honestly, that probably is where it should be. It is better than the Sharkbait hoo-ha-ha here, so I will put it there. And this keeps things perfectly balanced, as all should be. Like, we have a lot of sneakers, unfortunately, but when you have things like the Draupner and the Swan Song releasing, and this is free content, by the way, yeah, it's amazing. So let me know your favorite weapons from the new bounty pack. Let me know if you have any build ideas for the little sister. I'm sure there's something out there that can make it actually useful, but it does seem like we have better weapons in slot for anything that's not like A tier or the S tier. So again, let me know your thoughts in the comments. Hit the subscribe if you haven't already, and I hope you have a great day.